Take down the blinds. Yep, there we go. Welcome, I am Baba G's. This is the Bababorn Last Night podcast. Uh, it's I I think I might make this like the last one. Probably, yeah. Because I mean, there's definitely a lot I'm going to talk about, but it feels really awkward to like just keep talking about the game because I've talked a decent amount about, but I feel like there's so much more I could go into, but it's kind of hard for me to delve into it alone. It's kind of hard. But yeah, we'll get into it. We'll finish. The thing is, if I like stop doing this podcast, then it'll give me I'll like allocate that time to find like more games, because I uploaded the first Xbox game I had to YouTube, and that did pretty decently, better than most of my videos, and I had like more fun in those 5 games than I have like the past 2 months on PS4. Because I mean, partly because I haven't really been playing. Like the last actual game I played was still about a month ago, on June 28th. Uh, yeah, it's weird. PS4 is in a weird spot. The game in general is in a weird spot. People only want to play tens, but we'll keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. Well, one of the main things I wanted to talk about was how like a sequel will work, like a Battleborn sequel, how it will work. Well, obviously, you have your proper advertisements, like um, it's kind of hard for me to think about advertisements right now, but obviously, you want to market it properly. This game definitely wasn't marketed properly. Most people know. Mm, so one of our advertisements, obviously, we had PvP and PvE, kind of like we have right now, but it'd be more emphasis on PvP because I didn't play this game a whole lot when it was had like the most life. I started playing in 2017, so I don't really remember if they made a big focus on PvP or PvE. I assume it's PvE or PvP because that's where I think in the end game was where most people are gonna be. Bigger emphasis meaning like a lot of modern games are way more focused on PvP. Meaning there'd be like balance updates way more frequently, you know, community like openings, stuff like that, where people can just like give their feedback and like it would work. Like I know they've done a few things like that, like with some of the taunts, like I'm pretty sure
This looks cool, right?
this taunt
You know it
and
does.
a different one were added for because the community. Like I'm pretty sure the Daticus. What's there? Where is it? Well, anyway, the Atticus title called Daticus. That was a community thing, stuff like that. Basically, a lot more like interaction. Cause I mean, back when I started playing this game, I wasn't into like media and stuff, so I don't really remember how much Gearbox interacted with the community when it came out, or like that time period because it came out 2016. I started playing 2017. So uh, so if there the way the roster would be, you'd start with these 30, and obviously there'd be story mode. You know, there'd be PvP. Basically the same way the game is right now. We start with PvE, do all your missions and stuff. Yeah, I remember hearing that things went well for communication. Uh, what was I about to say? Yeah, start with the original 30, and I mean that's one of the like the biggest like tragedies. I mean, I don't know if tragedy is the right word. The biggest shames is that we never got to get like an extra character or like more characters beyond like these 30. Because it's like when you think about it, I mean, I love this game obviously, and sometimes when I'm playing it, I if I play it like I get in one session, if I play it like a good amount, sometimes I just get bored at all the characters. I'm like, I don't really want to play any of these guys. I wish there were more, you know. I'm pretty sure I talked about it in a different episode that I wanted to see like a healer, anti-healer kind of character, kind of like Beatrix, but with a wound. I mean, like Beatrix, but with a heal. So I mean, she'd be kind of like a mix between Beatrix and Lonnie, I guess. That'd be pretty cool. She'd probably be way too powerful though. Okay. Well, in either a sequel or like in this game, some of the quality of life changes that I went over, I have this on this list is like menu changes. So like not really in command, but I mean basic stuff like being able to promote people to leader, so you don't have to like disband a whole lobby because you want to switch hosts, you know, or like quick quick select. Like you can select multiple gear pieces at a time to delete. Because I mean, once you get levels, you can get a lot of gear. It can be easy to just let it fill up. And also, I'm sure it's the way it is, but once you hit like a high enough rank, I think most of the gear you get just comes at max roll. Because like on Xbox, I have like 3 rows of gear, and like none of them are max rolled. But like I'm looking at all these gear pieces, like I didn't even know I had this one, and they're like max. You just get more max gear. Like I was looking for this piece for like 2 years straight, and I just like was looking through my gear, and like, oh wait, I have it. I was looking for it for a long time, but I don't really even need it. But yeah, so another change would be ranks beyond like command ranks like beyond 150. Like once you hit 150, that's max, but you'd be able to go beyond that. Like that's how it is in Paladins too. You can go beyond 150. Each of your characters can go beyond. There isn't really. I don't think there's really a cap. Right now you have 20, which is the cap, and it'd be cool to see like how high people can put each of their favorite characters at. You know, I think either Reyna or Milk are probably my least played. Probably Reyna, and I don't think that's accurate because there's no way I got. I'm pretty sure right here it says I have a quad with Toby. There's no way I got a quad with Toby. I don't play Toby enough. No. Some of them are definitely true. I did get 2 quads with Phoebe. So like some of them are right, but a lot of them aren't. Okay. I don't remember if ops uh allowed people to run up to five people like to have up to 5 players at a time, or if they brought it down to 4. But it should be back up to 5 at the change for sure. Got a bit of a cough. Okay. Well, one of the kind of longer things I wanted to go over was like gear for each character because I'm kind of shaping up for this to be like the last episode. Like, it's like it's I already kind of went to it when I first started, but it's kind of tough. It's pretty tough to keep it like just like keep topics going because I mean not only because I'm like by myself, but like I can't really think of more things to talk about Battleborn. Like I don't really just want to keep talking about it. I mean if like I had a group of people slash if like the game was more populated, then I'd be way more into talking about the game. But I feel like it's kind of like restricting me a little bit because instead of like I mean I know it's only an hour, but taking away that hour can give me so much more time to like find actual gameplay and just have a good time on like Xbox or PS4, perhaps. You know, I am gonna probably shift. And I mean, since I probably won't be uploading. I won't be making these anymore and uploading them. I'll probably just upload more gameplay because that the Atticus gameplay I uploaded was pretty nice. Was really I'm really content with that upload. Uh, so I can yeah, I'll just go over the gear and like playstyle for each character. I definitely already did like full on guides for like 8 of them, so that's always there on my YouTube. But we can go over Alani first. Alright, so Alani, I used to play her a lot when I first started playing. Like there are two characters in this game that like every single Battleborn player played a lot at some point. That's a Rendi and Alani. Everyone played these two always. It's just how it is. Alright, so Alani, she's a healer obviously. I'm gonna try to keep it to around like 3 to 5 minutes for each character because we have 30 to go through. Okay, so Alani, she has her osmosis. It's kind of interesting because like they make healing. I mean, I don't really play too many other games like Paladins and not Overwatch. I mean, I don't play Overwatch, but games like Battleborn and Paladins. The healing in Paladin is really easy, but it kind of works because Paladin's so fast paced that you need to be able to put out healing that fast. But in this game, everything's way slowed down, and like Alani is like you legit have to like work to get healing off. You know, she's a character that she's like one of the easiest characters to dive in the game. Like if like Atticus like pops a slow ult, unless she geysers him, like Alani's geyser is like her only, it's like the only thing she has to protect her really. I mean, she has her Riptide, but the geyser is like, it's it's like so good on her character. It's like probably like top 5. I say like top 6 or 7 skills in the game. Yeah. Uh, basically, you just everything you hit with her. You know, it would take so much time for me to go into training with each of these characters, but you just like attack things with Alani, and then you build up stacks. As you build up stacks, her basic heal will do more, and her playstyle is pretty interesting because you kind of just have to keep doing stuff, which like there's I mean comparing to paladins, I pretty sure like Maldama is like the only healer who's kind of like that, where you really need to just be on your feet all the time doing stuff to keep people up. Alani's kind of like that. You gotta keep building stacks to put out healing because she's a really good rescuer. Like with the geyser and her heals, really useful. Riptide's good for keeping people away. Also boost your movement speed. Take the slow. Yeah. Okay, so Alani, I do have an Alani loadout here. I don't know if it's for each healer character in the game, but apparently skill damage buffs your healing. So yeah, a lot of people run at least like 1 or 2 health pieces on her. You want to run healing gear, obviously because she's a healer. Skill damage is for the healing, and also, like I said, uh, she does have like pretty decent skills for doing damage. Especially if we take wave shock. Most people don't take it, but I used to take it all the time. And her ult is just pretty decent damage. It also has like one of the coolest animations in the game. So skill damage really nice on her. That is Lani. So the Umbra, she's not really. She's, I'd say she's probably the worst support for like competitive tens because a lot of the time, like you don't want your support player to your support role on your team to be the one that needs support. You know, like she's kind of like that. She's way more of an offensive character. She's much like for incursion, she is outshined like by every other support, even Kid Ultra. But for meltdown, she's like probably the best. Cause she can like so self sustain. She's like the best. People say she's like the best 1v1er in the game. She's got her flame shield. Just gives her an overshield. Yeah, I don't really know what the cooldown is on it, but there's definitely a cooldown that you notice on the flame shield itself. She got her sunspot. That's like her primary way to heal. That's like, and she has the. You take the of level 3, the ceremonial. Yeah, it's a ceremonial sacrifice, and turns her into like a diet Miko where she can heal with her staff. So she is a support. I feel like she'd be way better on like a double support comp, but you don't really see double support comps that much because like CC is just what most people go for. Much more of like a offensive healer kind of character, not really a solo healer, I'd say. Skill damage. I don't think I have an armor loadout anymore, but people say you take health regen on her. This chest plate, like these 2 gear pieces right here are on like half my loadouts. They're so good. If I could have these 2 on Xbox, then I'll be good. I'll be like straight for like the rest of the year. But I probably want to run these 2 because Amber has pretty low health pool, so that gives her a bunch more. And health regen is really good. This is probably a good loadout right here, actually. Uh, Probably just a healing gear piece instead of the skill damage, actually. But skill damage is really nice on Umbra. Yeah, I have like a kind of cough right now, so I gotta like mute every so often. I was thinking about skipping each character that I already went over, but Atticus, melee character, he's a brawler, which I interpret as their characters who can constantly be like on the front lines. Well, not really, but like they're characters who are like constantly like punching through lane, you know? Like Wrath is not really a character that you'd see just like standing in the lane all the time. He's an assassin. He's like, oh, you're doing this? All right, I'll react by using my knock up, stuff like that. He's a reactive character. Atticus is much more. I mean, people don't really consider people say when they think about like tanks and stuff, they think like Galley, Kelvin, Montana. Atticus, he technically is a tank, but he's just not. He doesn't have the CC. At least not anymore. When he used to have the knockback pounds, but he is a tank, and you know, in a lot of situations, if you can play him, like you can play really well with his pounce. That you can completely destroy the other tanks, especially Galley, like Kelvin, Monty. Like if you use your pounce perfectly, like on Kelvin or Monty, to where they don't have their main CC, then you can just like he has so much health where he can punish and push up. You know, you can really see that in the one game I uploaded. Mm, oh, well, yeah, he's. I don't really know what else to say. That's Atticus. Okay, so Beatrix, she's a really interesting character. Anti-healer built around wounds to stop healing or like reduce healing. I mean, her ult says 60% healing received reduced, but they don't. I don't think they don't tell you like on paper what her default wound is, like infection, on infection right there on the top right. Oh, I didn't go over gear for Atticus. Gear. I mean, you really don't need to run extra health on Atticus because he already has like the third biggest health bar in the game. So, which one do I run? It's at the top, I think. Yeah, here it is. Attack speed, attack damage. I run that health right there because I mean it's just one piece. You don't really need too much, but yeah, you just want to be really want to be able to like with Atticus, you want to be able to put out as much damage as you can when you can, because he's a character that you don't really need to run too much defensive gear because he's not a defensive character. He's an offensive one. You know, he's not Boulder. He's not Galley, Kelvin characters who can just stand in lane, take a bunch of damage, and be fine. He's not like that. It's like completely offense based. Want to run offensive gear. Wow. Okay. I really honestly don't want to talk about Beatrix because I don't really know anything about her. How much? How much? Yeah, I played 10 games with her. Uh, I mean, it says she's a sniper because she does have a scope, but I mean, I'd say her main like aspect is the patient zero gives target 25% extra attack speed. Her like the thing about Beatrix is like you really want to have like a dive character. So that's just because a dive damage character like Phoebe, Eldragon, or Atticus, because those are characters who have damage. They have the push potential to like do a lot more with Patient Zero. You know, like if you put Patient Zero on like Boulder or Galley, it's like okay, these two characters aren't really meant to be like destroying everything. I mean, Boulder can like hunt down and assassinate like one person, but he's not an all-around pusher like the dive characters are, which is why Beatrix, you want to have one of those so you can really benefit off of her. And she's a really situational character. Like if you do not have a wound at all against a team that you probably need a wound, like if they have like if they have like Kelvin and Miko and you don't have any wounds, then you can just take Beatrix, honestly. But you already have Galilea, you don't really need her. But I mean, you always can, I suppose, right? Her silence also probably the best silence in the game. There aren't that many silences. Atticus Pounce, Beatrix, Fulminate. I hope I'm not missing one. You got the Phoebe silence and the Wrath silence. Pretty sure those are the only ones. Yeah, 3 of the 4 silences in the game are by like non-meta characters, which is like, oh, hers is really strong. All right. Oh man, I really don't know. I'll play Beatrix, man. I really don't. Like I know Sticky, one of my friends, he takes a reload gear. Then he takes shield pen, uh, and then I think he takes health regen. I don't remember, but skill damage is probably good. I don't really. She has a really low health pool too, so I would probably take health on her too. Alright, this guy. I used to play this guy a whole bunch. Like the characters I used to play the most when I started playing Alani, Benedict, uh, Pendles, Arendi, yeah. And then I used to and Wrath too. I used to main Thor. So used to play this guy a lot. I almost never play him now because he's probably the most hated character in the game on console. Um, well, Benedict, he has arguably like the best mobility. I mean, in terms of being able to be mobile and like do a lot, Benedict's way better. Because Amelka probably more has way more mobility, I'd say, but Milka's not really a strong character. Same with Pendles. They both have really good mobility, but Benedict can just be super mobile. He can get he can get two jumps, two extra jumps right there, which is really nice. And he has the glide, and he's obviously a damage character. You can't really go wrong. Anyway, I mean, what to say about him? I mean, it's literally just rockets. That's Benedict. If there's one word to describe Benedict, it's rockets. Uh, like all of his offensive skills are rockets. Like Hawkeye and his ult. Um, how to play him, I guess. I mean, the thing about Benedict is the absolute best way to beat him is by poking. If you can just like characters who are really good at poking, like Thorn, Toby. Toby can absolutely destroy Benedict. Um, Marquis, Isaac, characters like that who can just poke Benedict. That's like the best way to kill him. Because the thing about him is the thing about Benedict is he can really only be attacking one thing at a time. You know, he can only be shooting rockets at one target. So if he's taking damage from one person, like we're thinking in a 5v5 competitive, like both teams have really good players on. Like if Benedict gets poked, and then like the team gets a stun on him, then he's cooked. You know. I mean, what am I trying to say? He really suffers against poke damage, but a good Benedict player won't allow himself to get poked. He'll like a good Benedict player will play passive enough to where they will be able to get in when there's not the proper pressure on him. That I think that makes sense. Okay. So gear, do I still have one for him? Yeah. Uh, I'm testing this. I used to have an attack damage instead of this reload piece, but I do think you want to go reload because reload and health too. Health, he has a really low health pool, so reload, like Benedict is probably the most reload heavy character in the game. So, and he even has one in his kit, so probably want to really reload on him. That's that's basically Benedict. All right, Boulder, another character that I went over in a full guide. He's honestly, I'd say he's like the most unique character in terms of playstyle of all these. Because I don't like watch too many other games other than like the other like hero games, kind of like Battleborn or Paladins. I don't really watch too many other ones, but Boulder's really unique because like he's a tank who has a lot of mobility and can assassinate people. You know, like he's a tank with a shield who can like run around, chase people to their base, and escape. You know, he's a really unique character. Very self-reliant. He's got his Boulder Dash stun. you you really got to take this on the right. Def Defender. That is Boulder right there. Def Defender. Like you can take away all the choices here. I mean, you don't really want to take Pinball or Gather No Moss, but Def Defender is Boulder. Like you need that. He needs his shield. That's his main strength. Being able to shrug off damage because that's what allows him to get away with so much. Because he can obviously, like I said, like assassinate people in their base and stuff. And then you need that shield and the like. That's two things in one. You have the movement penalty removed, and you get extra 100% shield. So, oh man, yeah, you really need that extra shield on him. Mm, I don't really know what else to say about him. I'm trying to keep these as brief as I can. All right, so Caldi. Caldi's another character I used to play a lot. Uh, Not the most common character. He's a like all these characters who aren't really good on incursion are like some of the best on Meltdown. Like Caldi, Dandy, and Umbra, they're so much better on Meltdown. But I mean, he's the problem. He's kind of like Milka, in the fact that he doesn't have a whole lot going for him. Like I mean, the blind is nice because it can stop Miko from healing. His flashbang is like it's it's better than you think because like it'll cause people to like back up. It'll cause people to reset. Like if your enemy team is like pushing up on like one of your teammates, you can flashbang. Especially if you have flash barrage, they'll most likely reset and back up even a little bit. You know, he's a character kind of like Boulder where he can like chase around, assassinate. You know, but oh my god, I'm coughing like crazy right now. Uh, I didn't. I keep forgetting to go over gear. Okay. Caldi. We really should have put a assassin here, but he. He's a really kind of like selfish character. I guess kind of like Benedict, where their playstyle is like pretty much completely around themselves and keeping themselves alive, which is what makes them so good for Meltdown. Right. So Boulder gear. You can do a lot with Boulder in terms of gear. I usually just run this one. I run the attack damage. Health regen is probably the most important on him. I run the sprint speed, lets me chase and escape faster. You can run DR, you can run health, you can run attack speed, skill damage. You can really do whatever you want with Boulder, but that's what I usually run. Then Caldi, I just run. It's a pretty basic loadout. These two are really good. I'm telling you, these two pieces. If I had on my Xbox, I'd be good. I'd be set. Uh, Basic loadout gives him health, attack damage, all around, just basic stuff. Dandy. I mean, I really don't like Dandy as a character, like her playstyle, but I do know a good amount about her. I'm past level 15, so I mean most people are 20, but yeah. I used to think that Pendles was like a worse Dandy, but I've come to realize that Dandy is a worse Pendles because Pendles just has his escapes are. I mean, I'm not even doing Pendles right now, but his escapes are just so much better. Like if Deanna gets caught out with no cloak, she a lot of times like if she gets slowed, she'll most likely die. But Pendles, I mean, he has the CC like reduction in his base kit, and all of his skills can be used as an escape. Which I mean, you could say the same for Deandy, kind of like her burst dash. But if you see Deandy use burst dash to escape, that's how you know she's really trying to escape and get out, and that's kind of makes her even more vulnerable. But I don't think I even have a D&D Little anymore. But well, you wouldn't want to run something like kind of like my Clisoloto here. You'd run a lot of skill damage, run shield. You probably just use this honestly for D&D. She and Cleese are pretty similar, where you want to build up shield and skill damage. So you can do all the extra damage with her burst, calculated risk right there. Assassin character, she's very similar to Pendles, but she's a character that in competitive tens, you really need to make her work. You need to have like two other tanks on your side. Like in the Xbox I played last week, we made a comp. It was Wrath, Montana. I was playing Isaac, and then we had uh, I forget what support we had. We had either Miko or Alani. Then I picked Deandy, and she our D&D player. I'm pretty sure he went 10-0. I mean, it was kind of a one-sided kind of match, but anyway, like if you get her the right matchup, she will be like untouchable. Really powerful. You want her to be a Punisher. Like D&D and Atticus have some of the best Punishes in the game. Same with Eldragon, but I'd say these two are way more devastating because like I mean like it's a 5 second stun, right? I'm pretty sure it's 5 seconds. Yeah. It's 5 second stun, which is like the longest one in the game. And she does damage, so. And she has it's like a 2 second wind up, so that makes her really vulnerable before it. But if you give her the right matchup, she can do really amazing things. And there's this guy, the champion. Uh, yeah, he's a character that is so uncommon. Uh, I really do need to start. I need to play him more. I haven't played him yet on Xbox. Him or Phoebe. Uh, he's a character. He does have a high skill floor. Pretty much all the dive characters have a high skill floor because you have to wait to get levels to be able to do stuff. Because I mean, level 1. I mean, until you get level 4, Eldragon really can't do much in the game. You know, like it's not until level 3 where he can like just barely start getting levels a little bit faster because he has the clap. But with him, he's a skirmisher, which I'm pretty sure. I mean, haven't really like looked at what it means, but skirmisher, I assume, based on what the other characters who are in the class, is that they go in, do something, do a little bit of damage, and then they escape. You know, that's kind of how he is. Like in the right hands, this guy is like he has a crown on his head for a reason. In the right hands, he's really hard to beat. I'd say at level 5, he's like the best 1v1er in the game. He'd beat like all the other characters. The only character who I'd say would have like the best chance would be Montana because Montana has so much DR and CC and damage where he could definitely beat Eldragon. For you to win, you'd have to like I went into this in one of my other episodes, but you'd have to like either not take too much damage while stunned by Monty, and then you have to either knock him out of his ult or stun him out of his ult with your ult. Uh, yeah, you want to play patiently, get your levels, and then you can get way more aggressive once you hit 5. But 4 and 5. But mm, what was I gonna say? One of his biggest weaknesses is that his most effective way in is his clothesline into ults, meaning like smart, like good players, like most people when like you know how to play against El Dragon. Like once they see him knock up into ults or just knock up in general, they know to focus him as much as they can because once he uses his dash, that's really his only escape. Unless he has like his team peels for him, or you have like Miko, because Miko and El Dragon are a really good combo because he has his DR. But once that clothesline goes out, you can really punish him hard, which is easily his biggest weakness. Because like Atticus, he has the health pool to be able to just like move around the map with the like the little like what do you call the thing where you use quick melee while you're running and you like kind of hop a little bit? That thing that's really good for getting around the map. Well, anyway, yeah, with champion, that's my loadout name for him. You most people run a lot of health gear on him really good because he has like a medium health pool, but I mean as a melee character you want to have as much like a really decent amount of health. I think yeah, because Danny has more health than Eldragon and Wrath, which doesn't really make sense. Wrath should have more. Eldragon should have like 1100 health. Pretty sure he starts out with 1,000 I think. But I mean he does have 400 shield. Uh, I think I'm pretty sure Pendles has the smallest health pool of all the melees. Yep, but like running health regen, because when you combine health regen and damage resistance, you can do so much more. I'll go into that a little bit more when I go over Phoebe, Ernest. I have a little bit of experience with Ernest. He's way more of a support. I should have put like support kind of for his attributes there on the left. He's a damage support kind of character. Well, I mean, with the right player, obviously, you can make a lot of plays with the concussive charge there. But his main thing is his egg, because you just when you, like Ernest can turn certain comps into like turns them so much scarier. Like I feel a really underrated combo is Ernest and Whiskey, because Ernest does have a wound in his kit, but where is it? He does have a wound in his kit, but you'd be better off picking someone else to be your wound, I'd say. Like, because Ernest and Whiskey has like so much single target burst, and like when you combine that with the egg attack speed, it's just and you can get the where's that? You can get the attack damage boost. Like if you like imagine like a comp with like say Oscar Mike's band, or I mean I guess you could substitute Mike for Whiskey, but anyway, you have like Montana and you have Whiskey. You put an Ernest on there, like boom, that turns that comp into like a super high damage comp, you know. And like you combine Monty with the attack damage boost. I'm pretty sure most people take the reload speed, but I mean it's stuff like that. Ernest is more of a support, a damage support. I don't think I have a loadout for him, but I'd probably run my Benedict loadout or my Oscar Mike loadout with reload speed. Just my Mike loadout. Yeah, maybe something like this. Reload speed, health regen, attack damage. Okay. Galley. Alright, Galley. Uh, Galley and Montana are really similar in the fact that they have so much in their base kit. It's ridiculous. Because I mean, you think about it, Montana, like he literally has everything in his kit, like damage, CC, tankiness, sustain. The only thing he can't really do is heal. And the thing about Galley is Galley's almost just like that. She can sustain well. She can tank a lot of damage. She's not the best on damage, but I mean she can do a decent amount with Gash and Bash. But she has the wound. She has one of the best wounds in the game. Like the thing about like comping with Galley in the game is that like you could pick like first pick Galley, and you basically don't even have to worry about wounds for the rest of your comp. Like just taking Galley and like having like Miko on your team, it basically forces the other team to grab a wound because her wound is just so good. Either one, and she actually does have a heal, which is funny because like I was saying, Montana can do everything but heal, but Galley actually can heal, which I guess the thing that she's lacking is damage. But I mean, I don't know what else, but I mean, she's like a really she's one of the best characters for like holding defense. Desecrate people like you won't the enemy team won't push if Desecrate's up. So stuff like that. Shield throw, stun, really nice. Being able to stun people on the spot. Without having to worry about positioning. Like with Boulder and Montana, you have to like stun people into the terrain to get the stun, but Galley you can just stun on the spot, you know. Um, and then with Galley, I usually run my Montana loadout because they both work really well. The health regen piece here, damage resistance, and then sometimes I go back and forth between this uh, DR piece and max health with the double max health chest plate. This one, the like this is like the best gear in the game that's not legendary. Uh, or what they call purple? Is purple epic? I don't even remember. Okay, yeah. Galt's. Oh man, Galt's character really, really, really need to play more. Uh, it would be really interesting to see if like they could do like more with Galt. Like I was talking to Traveler about it, I think some other time that like so that Galt wasn't so reliant on just his hook. Like if he could do more. Like I've said it so many times, if Galt's hook, you could like go like move around the terrain with it like a grappling hook. Like people will be playing him all the time. It'd be so fun. But I mean, yeah, I mean that not a whole lot you can say about Galt. Gameplay wise, he's like he hooks people in, slows them, very team reliant. Like with the solid team, Galt's like almost untouchable. You know, the probably I say the two ideal Galt comps would be like I'd say the original Galt comp is like Galt, Wrath, Montana, but another good one would be like Galt, Kelvin. I think Galt, Kelvin, Wrath is also really like one of the hardest uh, cores to break through, but you know, uh, you can still do like Galt, Kelvin, and Whiskey because I'd say Whiskey is like the best damage character to follow up on Galt pulls. I guess Toby kind of is, but the thing about Toby is he needs to have his shield up, and I mean, it could be hard to have Toby's shield up because like once the enemy team gets into a rhythm where they're constantly shooting his shield down, he has to be really creative with his placements. But with Whiskey, he's just someone gets pulled in, they get the initial CC, that could be Kelvin, Calais, Boulder, anyone, and then even Wrath, even Wrath knockup, and then he has the wound so that they can't just immediately get healed, and the slow so that like when people get pulled, their team's most likely gonna peel for them. But then with Whiskey's slow, he can like make it so much harder for them to escape after the team peels. And he has the burst, which I mean, with Galt, you really want to have, you really want to pick him against like big body teams. Like Galt's probably the best character for dealing with Isaac. Uh, Big bodies like Atticus, Monty, Kelvin. That's where you want to pick Galt, and Whiskey just makes it so much easier. Something with Gold, I don't have a designated loadout for him. I assume you want to run. You could run a little bit of health. He does have a really he's a decently generous health pool. I think he's like 1300, 13 or 1400. You can run reload speed. Definitely probably want to run attack speed or attack damage for him. If I was to pick Gold, I'd probably take like either this one, my Atticus loadout, or I could take my Caldi loadout too. No, I think I take my Marquee loadout here. I have attack damage, a little bit of health regen, and then crit damage because Galt can do really well with crits. Yep. Move speed, reload speed, attack damage. Yep. All right, Kelvin. Yeah, Kelvin's a character that I like. For the first like 2.5 years, I almost never touched, but only recently I started playing with him. He can be pretty decently fun. I haven't really played against like anti Kelvin comps that much. I played against Monty, but I haven't really played against Galt on Kelvin yet. So uh Kelvin, he's of all the characters in the game, uh I'd say like Kelvin and Arendi, they're characters that once they really get going, it's like it's almost like you're cheating in the game, really. Like when Rendi is like really late game, like level 9 and 10, she has nihilism. It's like she cuts through literally everybody. And same can be said for Kelvin, because like once he gets going, once he gets like level 6, once he gets like level 6, and he has his ice wall, it's like over. Because he can just stun everybody. He can ice wall. Like his ice wall is super underrated. I went over this in my other episode. Ice wall is the only Ice wall is the only stun in the game that's like instant. It's instant. I can go over it again. You can definitely consider Alliance Geyser a stun. Obviously, it has its wind up. Uh, Boulder, he has to actually get to them. Apparently, Grounded Zero on Cal, they can knock people back, but I mean, obviously, that's way more. So that's not obviously not instant. D&D has 2-second wind up, but it is AOE. This guy, he has to ult, then Dragon Splash. You know, Montana has his wind up. Like Montana's wind up for his stun is like so obnoxious. Because he has to do the wind up animation, then he has to charge forward. Like Boulder has no wind up animation, he just goes. But Montana has 2 animations he has to go through, which I guess is fair because his stun's so powerful. Miko obviously has to throw the bomb. Uh, Isaac, I don't really need to go over each one, but you get the point. Ice Wall is the only stun that's instant, and it gives. Once you hit level 5, that's how you want to initiate with Kelvin, because once he uses his sublimate, it's so easy to punish Kelvin. You just like if you're playing with against Monty, he just slows you, or really any shooter can just obliterate Kelvin if he has no sub. Which is why you really want to be like he's a character that you want to be on your toes like all the time. He's constantly moving, which is why like it's honestly hard to play Kelvin, to shoot Kelvin when you're playing Marquis, because Marquis is good at hitting people who are just like sitting in lane, But Kelvin's a character that's constantly moving, and it makes it hard for Marquis to hit him. But yeah, iso wall, lead with it, and then you sublimate afterwards, because when you ice wall, you want to see how the enemy team reacts, and the sublimate is his best skill. So you want to use sublimate as a way to like finish them. Uh, I can show a clip. All right, this is gonna be the longest episode. All right, this is gonna be much easier than the last time I did this. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. How does that look? Okay, that looks perfect. Okay. So, this was from Xbox last week. I mean, I played Atticus, but you can see Sea Dog's playing Kelvin right over there. He leaves with Ice Wall, and then he sees how the team reacts. Right before this happens, Wrath uses his knockup, and all that CC's out. He uses his Ice Wall, and then he sublimates afterwards. And like once you Ice Wall, then sublimate, it gives your team like almost perfect window of opportunity to attack. All right, let's play it. Yep, the Wrath used knockup, and I slow ulted. Then look at this. Like, honestly, I don't know if I was close enough to get knocked up by Montana, but if I got knocked up, I would have lost my ult, and we probably would not have wiped them here. But he uses his like he played Kelvin. Played Kelvin perfectly in this dive. He stunned Monty out of his ult, because I mean, if Monty got that knockup off, he would have canceled Kelvin's sub, and he would have canceled my ult, which would have been awful. And then we get a 4-man wipe out of it. And we chased this storm for like 15 seconds. It was pretty funny. Okay. Alright. Yeah, that was really detailed. Kelvin's really strong character. Yeah, alright. KU. It's I mean, one of the biggest problems with him is that two big problems with him is that he just gets outshined by Miko and Alani, because Miko and Alani are just so much more reliable. Like KU can't really heal that much. Can't really heal at all, honestly, until you get to level 2, right? But I mean, he got obviously got his nerf a while back, where he doesn't have as much damage, but you know, his ult is still, I'd say, the best support ult in the game. Like he has an interrupt. I think it's like a 1-second stun. Like if you have a really good dive comp, like with like Atticus, Boulder, or like Phoebe, characters like that, you go in with like Phase Gate or whatever, and then Kid ults like right after. You can potentially like cancel characters out of their skills. Like you can if you hit it right, you can get you can use to the rescue his ult out of to cancel Montana's ult. You can cancel Isaac out of his ult, stuff like that. Like ults like that where you can cancel like Isaac and Montana have two of the biggest like I mean it's game changing for Montana in terms of like not being able to get dived, but like for like just team dives in general, Isaac and Montana have some really important ults, and like Kid Ultra being able to stop that as a support, that's huge. And it's like it's a really good support ult. That's why I'd say she's way better than Umbra, because Umbra, she's a character that she'll find herself running away a lot because she needs to be like on the front lines. That's how her character is until she hits level 7. You know, she's a good healer if people can get her on corners, but she can't still really support, which is why I say KU's way better. Level 8, yeah, with the heal explosion, I think. Yeah, he's a fun. He's like the only support character I'd play, honestly, because the other ones are so boring. The support characters in this game are so boring. He's the only fun one to me. Wait, did I? I think I skipped over Isaac, I think. Okay. I can go over KU and Kelvin gear. That's tragic that I skipped over Isaac. He's one of my favorites. Uh, I actually have 3 loadouts for Kelvin, which is funny because I only have 2 for El Dragon. Okay, here we go. I just made this one today. If you wanted to run like maximum shield, I always wanted to run shard regen on Kelvin because he's a character that can get like ridiculously strong with levels. So the extra shield, that's my shield build. The one I usually use is this one, extra DR when you're activating skills. He's a character that uses his skills a lot, mostly chomp. So that DR is really useful. Health regen. That's a free extra 7 health regen when you run the shield recharge thing. So can't go wrong with that. And I mean, if I play Meltdown, then I'll run attack damage because you want that extra punch. All right. KU right here, skill damage for the extra healing, reload speed, and then heal power and received. It's pretty self-explanatory. Extra healing, reload speed. Can't believe I skipped over Isaac. It's probably yeah. Okay, Isaac, very unique character. He's really. I say he's like twice as strong on console than on PC. I mean, I don't know how good he is on PC. I'd probably say not as good because like Whiskey and Marquis are probably super cracked on PC. In terms of what I've seen at least. He's kind of like Toby, where like they have big bodies because they're capable of doing so much as damages. And I don't really know what to say. He's a really weird character. He's got his shield. He's got like 3 shields. The shield like Boulder and Galea, he can put it up. Black damage. That kind of his shield kind of makes his character. So if he didn't have it, then he would be getting blasted out of lane so much. Uh, One of the most important things is to know when to ult with Isaac because that's like literally a game winner in like a game changer. If you're in like the last minute of the game, and if you ult at the wrong time, you don't have it anymore, and you need Isaac's ult to be able to pressure Sentry properly. Like if he's just shooting the Sentry by himself without his ult, then he's gonna get fried. Late game is a very scary place, and he needs that. Especially since level 10 on Isaac is like, I'd say these are the best choices on the character at level 10, like in the game. All of them. The Does my desktop audio play? Okay. I mean, I went over this in the Isaac episode, but all three of these are really good choices. Shields up gives you much more takiness. It's probably the most value in the big picture. The middle is, I say it's better on meltdown because you can just it's his all last 40 seconds. You can basically slow single targets for 40 seconds with it. Really good for big bots. And then I mean if they have like a more uh, melee based team, they don't have a lot of range. Then you can punish more with the missiles. So yeah. Isaac. Mm, health regen is really important on Isaac. This is what I usually run. Health regen, attack damage, max health. I mean, you can really run like the basic ones, like with no extra health, like right here. You can run that on Isaac, but I just like to do it anyway because that's a free 400 health right there. Might as well take it. And this gear is pretty reasonably cheap, so that's what I like to run. All right. Didn't forget anybody. Cleese. This is a really fun character. Uh, wish I played him more. Uh, he's kind of a gamble character like the Andy, where you need to be able to hold until late game, because late game they can do a lot. Cleese more so than the Andy, because like if you give Cleese the right matchup, like you stack a lot of big bodies on your team. Monty, Cleese, Shane, characters that can take all the damage for Cleese. Like you don't want Cleese to have to deal with like you had like Galley Dragon. I feel like that wouldn't be. I mean, it would work, but like Galley and Dragon aren't the best characters to rely on to take damage. You know, not like, oh my god, my notifications are on. Oh my god, no. I usually turn these off. I forgot to. Okay, super professional. Okay, what was I saying? Cleese. Yeah, he's a like, of all the characters in the game, he. You need the longest. You need to wait the longest to get him to his spike. Level 7. But the thing is, when you hit the level 7, he gets like ridiculously stupid. Where like he can do more burst than the best burst characters in the game, like Arendia Thorn with bouncy balls. I do have a load up for him. This one, skill, damage, and shield strength. The middle one right here is actually a really good choice because it'll give you the shards will get you more levels faster. So that's a good idea. All right, Marquis. Marquis is one of my favorite characters to play. Really wish I played him more. I just, as a melee slash tank player, I don't get to play him a whole lot. It's just kind of weird. I don't like. What do I say about him? He's a character that from level 1 to level 10, you're doing basically the exact same thing. You're putting up the slow field. You're throwing the owls out. I mean, some people don't even put the owls up, but I mean, if they have an invisible character, then you take that and you like maybe place one behind you, so that they can get revealed if they come around you, and then the rest of them you just throw out wave. Like he's the old school guy. He just like keeps shooting through lane. You know, he's not the new school guy. He's not Toby. Uh, Toby's definitely a better sniper. Cause like Marquis, like you need to aim and land every single shot with him. But with Toby, you can like you put the shield. I mean, you do need to have the shield up. That's like the trade between Toby and Marquis. Like Toby can do way more than Marquis. He can hold down lane by himself. But like Toby needs to have his shield up to be able to do all that. Marquis doesn't. Marquis can be annoying without having to set up. Toby needs his shield, and then he has the stun, which is like crazy powerful on a damaged long range character. So then Marquis, have I it shows how much I really don't play Marquis as much as I want to, because I do have a second loadout for it. Where is it? Attack speed. So I have an attack speed build that I haven't really tried out that much. But the crit damage one is really good because you're gonna be hitting crits a lot with Marquis. This is the main one I run. Like certain characters, Marquis can snipe so easily. Uh, Characters like obviously the big bodies. I mean, I'd say Atticus isn't as easy, even though he's big. But Atticus is like Kelvin, where they're constantly moving, not like Montana, where they're staying in a lane. You can shoot them really easily. But characters he can hit relatively easily are like Beatrix, Benedict, Ernest, Isaac. KU is really easy too. Miko might be like the easiest one to hit because you just aim for the mushroom and you can kill Miko really easily. And Toby, obviously. Uh, oh man, I like Melka and Beatrix, like two characters that I like legit do not want to talk about. Give me 1 second. All right. Uh, yeah, Melko's a lot like Caldi, where they're just like super annoyance characters. They're jumping around, being mobile, uh, like picking at people from a range. Like they're two characters that are much better on Meltdown. And if like for some reason you're doing like a no support game, they'd be really good because they can just hop around the map and poke at people, and there's no healing, so they just be able to do whatever they want basically. Uh, mm, she's more of an annoyance character, like I said. I don't really even know what you would run on her. Attack damage, health regen, I'd say health, max health, I guess. Probably like my thorn build, something like this, with more health maybe. Then Miko. I'm not having Miko loadout, but I'd probably run my Alani loadout. Miko, best healer in the game. Everybody knows. Like the stuff Miko can do is like ridiculous. Self-sustain. Like self-sustain is like the one word you can use to describe Miko. Like, I mean, because the way Miko can sustain itself, or do you say he, or I don't know. The one way Miko can sustain itself is the same way it can sustain everybody else. You know, because like it's ridiculous how good Miko can heal. Yeah, I mean I don't really know what to say. Miko's like so strong as a healer, but he's also like such a boring character to play. You'd probably run. You could run max health. I see a lot of people take an attack damage piece on Miko, which is pretty cool because you wouldn't really expect people to take that, but they do. I mean, I know it's alphabetical, but this is the way all the characters are laid out when the game drops. I'm pretty sure, and there's a reason why they put Miko and Montana right next to each other. They're the core. They're the core. the core that can do anything. Yeah. So Montana, this guy, he's the guy. He's the guy, guys. Uh, I went over him in my last episode. Hmm. I mean, the best way to play him is like play passively. Play passively till you hit five. Hit five. Get your ult. Once you get your ult, you can be way more aggressive in dives, and you can't like once he gets his ult, it's much harder to bully him because like if the enemy team like pushes up and like stuns Montana, gets him down to like half health. If he can get his ult off, then he's most likely gonna be fine. Back up, and at that point, his team should be able to push up and punish the other team for like using their CC on him because obviously their CC's out. Like, you can really tell I went over this. You can really tell that they put a lot of heart and effort into designing Montana because his skills like work so well together. Like Hailstorm, like uh, just works so well. It does like this like three things in one, which is kind of crazy. It does the slow, the DR, then it cools down his gun. So I usually run this one. I usually use it for Galley also. But if I have a really good healer, I mean, even if they're not a great healer, I'd still take this. Uh, if they're playing Miko, then I take this one for healing received. I used to take this one, the health regen with healing received, but uh, I don't know. These two gear pieces are just so good for self sustain. Okay, Arendi, another really hated character. I used to play her a lot. Um, yeah, she and Ben like they're both characters that could do so like can do so much while being so easy, you know, like so easy to use. Because I mean, with Benedict, like you have the right mobility, like you can literally just like jump around people and be completely fine, you know. Like with the Rendy, obviously she's a late game character, but like the amount of the crazy burst that she has late game is like nobody can come close to that. Like really. I mean, Khalees and Thorn kind of can, but like Thorn, it's her ult, and I mean, it can be her volley, but she has to be point blank, which is really dangerous. And Khalees needs setup. He needs to have his rifts, or I mean, if he doesn't have his rifts, then he leaves himself really vulnerable. So Khalees kind of needs set up for bouncy balls. But the Rendi is just free like 800 damage burst that you can't avoid with nihilism, and she gets it every like 10 seconds, which can be reduced even more with Reign of Chaos. So yeah, she's a really strong character, but I mean I feel like people give her like too much credit, but I mean you just really need to have a strong front line to be able to deal with her. You know, like you take like Atticus. I'd say he's the absolute best character for dealing with her because like if Rennie dumps all her skills on Atticus, Atticus is still gonna be at like 30-40% health, and at that point he should be able to get healed by his team. You know, like in a 5v5 scenario, and at that point, if Rennie uses all her skills on one character, she's gonna get fried. And I mean, one Atticus pounce is the perfect punish for Rennie. A slow and a silence. Because I mean, if she's silenced, she's basically doing absolutely nothing for 3 seconds. Because her chaos bolts aren't really that good. So she's kind of just running around while slowed, and she's silenced. Just easy pickings for anyone to like. like the team just pushes up a little bit, she's good to die, you know. This is the loadout I run for her. Skill damage, health. You really want to run health on her because she has like one of the 3 lowest health pools in the game. I think I think she has like 700, 800 health without shields. I mean, like with shields. So yeah, shards just helps her level faster. Got the health right there. So just a really solid Randy loadout. Mike, this guy, I used to play him a decent amount. I honestly want to play him more, but I play Whiskey more. I'd like to play Whiskey more, honestly, but I keep having bad matchups as a Whiskey. That's kind of how you describe Whiskey. This guy, really strong. I'm pretty sure in my tier list I went over how he's probably the best all-around character in the game in terms of just pushing, doing damage, you know, all that stuff, escaping, best all-around. Like the thing about Thorn is she has way more potential on her own for getting player kills, but Mike is better at pushing and getting sentry damage. You know, Thorn has way more potential. It's a really good parallel. I went over this before. Like Mike and Monty are linked, and Kelvin and Thorn are linked. Mike and Monty are like way easier to use, and in most cases they're going to be more effective because more people know how to play them. You know, but Thorn and Kelvin have way more potential. They have a higher skill floor. Where like if you use them right, you will absolutely outperform Mike and Monty. You know. Yeah. Uh, Mike loadouts right here. Attack damage, reload speed, health regen. Why not experiment more? I really hope pubs starts flowing more so I can like actually use these loadouts more and test them all out. uh, Pendles. I used to play Pendles a lot. Like I said, he's way better than Dandy, but I mean, it's like in a competitive setting, you'd be you'd be better off getting Dandy a good matchup than Pendles, because Dandy has like CC. She has her CC ult is way more beneficial to the team than Pendles would be. But I mean, Pendles still has his uses, you know. He has really good. He has like the best escape options in the game. Uh, what was I gonna say? I did have a loadout for him, but I actually edited it out to make the Kelvin loadout. But if I was gonna play him, I'd probably take either no, not this one. I'd probably take my Phoebe loadout, because what I had before was just attack damage health on instead of the attack speed health right here. Yeah, that's Pendles, and then Phoebe is one of my favorite characters to play. What do I say? She has like one of the highest damage potentials in the game. She requires a lot of patience. It's harder to get like even though she's a late game character, it's harder for her to get momentum going as compared to like Eldragon or Atticus, because once Eldragon gets to like level 3 and 4, he can start like really putting in work. And with the right matchup, Atticus can control a game as much as like Montana or Kelvin could, you know, with the right matchup. Or like if your team is like on point and you have like a really good other tank like Boulder or Galley, then Atticus just can do whatever he wants, really. But Phoebe needs way more patience, or like In terms of getting levels, yeah, she needs patience, but she can do a lot of damage. I recently learned about the crosscut blade rush combo, so I want to experiment more with that. Uh, I really only have one loadout for. I two. I have two. I have two actually. This one for meltdown, health regen, attack speed, attack damage, health. And the one I mostly use is this one. The combo that I love right here, and then attack speed, attack health. Wrath. Yeah. So the triangle of characters that everyone who has played Battleborn has played is it's Wrath, Arendi, and Alani. Everybody has played a lot with those three characters. Uh, so Wrath, he's a character that I played a lot, and I probably could do like a whole episode on him, but I feel like I wouldn't really talk about a whole lot because it's really the Kai Leg Smash, his knockup, that makes him so powerful. You know, like he's like legitimately like top three characters in the game early game because his knockup is so strong. It's like it might not be like an instant. I mean, what am I trying to say? Kelvin and Wrath, they have like the best instant CC in the game. Like Kelvin and Wrath are like some of the worst characters for Phoebe to play against because they have like instant CC. Ice Wall is instant. Southern Way is kind of instant because like, once he starts subbing, that he's basically invincible. But Wrath knockup it's instant. You know, like you could be running away, like you could be at the shock. The Wrath could be like at the shock turret in Overgrowth, like in the middle there, and then you could be like at your Sentry choke point, and he could use the knockup. If he has the long one, the regular one, then he can knock you up all the way from there, and it's instant. And if your team can push up properly, then they can catch up and kill you like that. You know, Wrath's knockup is really powerful. That's kind of what makes him him. Like his character is kind of like if Deandy was reliable. You know, like Deandy, she kind of hides until she gets to level 5, but Wrath is reliable straight up at level 1 because he has the knockup. You know, he's not. He does rely a lot on his knockup, but I mean, in Deandy, like she relies on her ult. Well, she has to wait until 5, and she also has potential to uh, get it canceled. You know, but Wrath's knockup has it's like a 13-second cooldown and really reliable, great for offense and defense. I have two loadouts for him. This is the one I usually use for speed. So health's probably the most important on Wrath. Then sometimes I experiment with this one, running health regen if I feel like I'm dealing with way more damage. Then just have the health regen to help you keep up. Huh. One, two. Do I really have 4 Kelvin loadouts? Wow, it's crazy. I just noticed that. I think that's the most I have for a single character. Anyway, yep, that's Wrath, Reyna. I really think all the supports in this game are super boring. I don't have a loadout for Reyna, but you'd probably want to run is like Shard regen, then cooldown, and then you could run like either health regen or heal power. Heal power is really good. One of my friends uh, did really well once. He healed like 100k on Reyna, which is like crazy good. Like any healer besides Miko, if you can hit 100k, that's really solid. And he ran heal power and did really well. So yeah, she obviously she has her overshield. She needs level 4 to be able to start healing health. And then her cleanse at 6 is like one of the strongest things in the whole game. Can like straight up make entire skills like can invalidate whole skills. Like like the Andy can ult one person, and then Reyna can cleanse them out of it right away. I don't know if they still take damage or not, but yeah, her cleanse is really strong. If her levels were a little bit earlier, she'd be way more. She'd be seen a lot more. All right, Shane is. Yeah, she's a weird character. She's an initiator, but she doesn't actually get her stun until level 4. But I mean, once she does have her stun, she's a really strong initiator, and it's a shame because I've seen so many Shane players. Like there are a lot of people who play this character, but a lot of them like play super passively and throw boomerangs the whole game. But like when you have a good Shane, it's so nice because like she literally gives you like the perfect window of opportunity to attack a single character. So you have the stun, you just do the stealth. She gives should do the slow, then she gets stun right after. Like Shane alone can do like when you added like melee damage, she can do like 500 600 damage to one target, like over the sneak up like push up on like when you do self strike into fetch stun. That's like easy like 500 damage, and you just when your rest of your team pushes up damage, other tanks, whatever. That's a really that's like a almost perfect window opportunity for getting kills, you know. But I don't know, she has a lot of potential, but does get outshined by the main CC tanks like Kelvin, Galley, all those guys. Auntie. All right, almost done here. We got Thorn. Thorn used to be one of my mains. Uh, she has a really high potential. Funny thing about her, once like, you could like play a game. I mean, obviously you like will see Thorn get picked on the other team, but like you could play a game and not even notice Thorn until level 5, which gets her ult, because you don't really notice her doing her damage because she's kind of just in the back of the map shooting the lane, Uh, I mean, it says sniper there, but she's really not a sniper. She's like a marksman shooter kind of character, like Isaac. They're not. Isaac and Thorn aren't really sitting in the back of the map sniping everybody. They're not Marquis or Toby. Those are the two sniper characters, really. Thorn's like in like mid, sometimes front lines doing damage. Throwing her ult down, all that stuff. I don't think I showed a loadout for Shane. For Shane, you could probably run. I mean, she's more of a. She can take a lot of damage. She can be really tanky. So, I mean, you could run something like this for Shane. You could also run like a little bit of attack damage, kind of like my Meltdown Kelvin build. You can run like more health instead of the shield recharge right there in the middle for Shane. This health regen piece is probably really good for her. Then Thorn, my loadout, I usually run this. You really do, like, my Thorn loadout, Isaac loadout are almost the same. Skill damage, attack damage, it's really all you need. Extra health is really good on her. She has a low health pool, then health regen's nice. Toby, he's a character I've been playing a lot recently. Really strong, very capable of holding down lane. Biggest weakness is also like his biggest strength, which is kind of weird to say, but it's his shield. Like a flat out at level 1 gets 25% extra damage to his railgun. Like level 1 Toby can do like the same damage output as like level 4 Marquis in terms of like just base attack damage. Cooldown on Thorn? Yeah, I'd say so. Thorn's skills come back really fast, and it's nice to just put out extra damage. Uh, like level 1 Toby is ridiculously strong. You know, and he just like level 2 straight up. Like level 2 and 1 are so like the helix choices on the right are so good for him. Because like, I mean, I've heard people say that with Toby you need to aim, but it's like, I mean, when you have the shield up, you really don't need to. I mean, you kind of do, but Toby's aim is completely different from Marquis' aim. Like Marquis' aim, you have to like aim every single shot. Like if anyone who plays Destiny, Marquis like using like a scout rifle or a hand cannon where you have to more like a hand cannon where you have to like aim every single shot. You know, I mean, if you're shooting players, it'll be like more like a hand cannon, but if you're long range, it's like a scout rifle. But you have to aim every shot. But with Toby, you have your shield up. You're shooting one target constantly. That's like with the shield up, you're doing like 300 damage each shot, and you can just melt so fast with him. I used to run my Marquis loadout on him with this one, but it's the one I actually have is really similar to that. Got crit damage. Haven't really got to try this out yet, but I think this one's kind of interesting because you get extra attack damage for hitting crits. So that's what I use on him. Alright, then the last, but obviously not, definitely not least, we got Whiskey. And it's pretty, kind of sucks that Whiskey is like the last one because he gets outclassed by so much, like pretty much every other damage character, but he still has so much potential, you know? Like his utility is unparalleled because I still say like he's the best damage character to follow up on gulp pulls. He has the wound and slow. Uh, I feel like he'd also be really good with Atticus because I mean he has the burst and the slow. I mean, because I mean he has. This is a character that if you can get a good like angle on someone, like he can do a lot of damage to them, you know. And Atticus is a character that opens up the enemy team really well, and Whiskey can just you know capitalize on the space created. I still feel like that's another one. That's one of his weaknesses. The two of his weaknesses are that he really needs a solid front line to be able to like make space and like land CC so he can actually like get player kills. And the other thing is that he doesn't really have an escape unless you take like Flak back. Which one is it? Yeah, Flak back at level 6. He really needs that way earlier. Like if you give Whiskey that earlier, then he'd be so much better because he's way too easy to dive. Really fun character to play though. But Whiskey loadout. This one. I took off health regen on it. I feel like it would be really good because it's got the attack speed, reload, really solid on him. Wow, that was pretty good in terms of talking about all the characters. Really stretched that out. Uh, what else do I have? Yeah, I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about probably not doing the podcast anymore because I don't know. I could talk about this game a lot, but I don't want to. You know, I don't want to stop doing it because like I'm lazy. I'd rather stop doing it because like it's not a whole lot for me to talk about, you know. At least like alone. I don't know. I don't want to say like this is absolutely the end. I'm not doing this anymore for sure, but as far as I know, probably won't be back next week. But with that, it'll closing it down will give me uh, a better window for like getting more gameplay, like playing on Xbox. I'll be able to get more gameplay, stream more. It was really fun playing on Xbox. So honestly, I'd say I had more fun on Xbox in those 5 games than I did in like the past 2 months on PS4. Partly because like the last month I haven't really been playing. Like, look, the last time I played was last week. It was a bots match, but against actual people was 28th, which was a month ago. So it's been really slow on PS4, but Xbox is really fun. Had a lot of fun, and I don't know. I don't really enjoy PS4 tens. Like, I thought of like the perfect analogy. Uh, I'd say PS4 tens is kind of like I'm comparing it to like movies. It's kind of like Mean Girls. Like, that movie is hilarious, but like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I like that movie, but it's kind of like Mean Girls. And then Xbox tens is like Saving Private Ryan. I I thought that was a pretty funny analogy, which that's definitely how I feel. Uh, I mean, one other note that I didn't go over, just a quick one, is that I said to let allow character ranks beyond 20. In addition to that, allowing you to earn like all the skins and taunts with levels, like character ranks would be going on for like literally as long as you would want, up to like 999 if you wanted, and that you could earn like all these taunts. Like, there are even more taunts that aren't even here, like the pre-order taunts. Like they don't. I wish they would show them. Like, I can't even see the one Phoebe taunt that you get for pre-ordering. The one where she stabs the camera, or the Oscar Mike one where he uh, does the "I kill you" thing. That's not here. I think the other one is a Rendy. I don't remember what that is, but I really wish I had that Phoebe one. Stuff like that, you'd be able to earn it through levels. Alright. Alright, well, that should be the end of it. Uh, Hopefully back possibly tomorrow for Xbox. I don't know if they probably won't, but shooting for Friday. I'll talk to them. Uh, not gonna set it in stone that I'm never do this podcast again, but I probably won't for now. I mean, I wanted it to be for like the summer thing, but I don't want it to turn into just me struggling to find things to talk about, you know. Which, I mean, is he playing? Is he playing a game? Uh, well, last week was way harder to talk than this week. Because this week I'm almost at 2 hours, but last week I kind of struggled to get to an hour. But I don't know. Not doing this anymore will give me way more opportunities to. It'll free me up to do more for the game. Plan. Uh, I mean, I still do want to work on doing the Xbox tourney for the rest of the year. Should be really fun. Definitely we'll stream that. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. Well, thanks for cooling here. Whoever's still in here. Y'all have a good night. Rest of your week. I'll be back on Friday for more Battleborn. Peace out. Stay dandy. Thanks for watching again.